what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides, and I am here at Walker Ford, Clearwater, Florida. Special day. We got a Ford Ranger, 2019 Ford Ranger, just literally rolled in off the truck. We're going to be doing a full review, front, back, type, side to side, and a full drive as soon as this gets off the truck. But what a wonderful experience to be here the moment that this Ranger is going to fire up right now and back off of this truck. Very cool. I'm so glad to be able to share this with you and have it be part of the review. But there it goes, off of the trailer. We are going to be bringing that one to you in a split second, so we'll be right back with the Ranger. All right, guys, the Ranger is off the truck. Here it is, sitting in the parking lot here at Walker Ford. Now, this truck has not gone through PDI because Walker Ford knows that you guys and girls have been waiting for this truck. So please put up with the dirt. We're gonna bring you this review anyways. Let me give you a little bit of a history lesson first. Ranger, when did that name start to get used by Ford? Guess what? It goes all the way back to 1958, the Edsel Ranger, which that was the entry level of the Edsel. That's where the Ranger first appeared, the name. Then it spilled over into the F-Series lineup as a trim level option. Then eventually it became part of the lineup, that Ford Ranger, that mid-size compact pickup truck. For years it had been around, and then guess what? In 2011, bye-bye Ranger. The reason why, that mid-size compact truck market had dried up. But now, fast forward to 2019, it is back and it is ready to go up against the industry standard Toyota Tacoma, the Nissan Frontier, and that Chevrolet Colorado. Let's see what Ford is bringing to the table when it comes to the mid-size pickup. Right off the bat, I love the styling of the Ranger. I love the headlight housings. Those are LED lights, LED running marker lights, and also fog lights down here. Very nicely styled. I love the open grille. I think they hit the nail on the head with this grille, how open it is. Also, I like what they're doing with embossing the name into the grille instead of putting some cheesy emblem or something like that. There's our Ford logo, loud and proud. And then lurking behind this grille, I'm gonna have Tom zoom in and show you that's an intercooler. That means underneath the hood is that 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine, turbocharged, intercooled, putting out 270 horsepower. We're gonna show you that in a few seconds, so stay tuned for that. Look at this. Knock, knock, who's there? Metal bumpers. It's the only truck in this segment to have metal front and rear bumpers. This one, being the Sport 4x4, does not have the metal skid plate underneath, so that's where you're going to get a little bit different look, but you do have the steel tow hooks. Very nicely done. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side. I just love the way that the Ranger sits. It's got a bit of space with the wheel and where the fender is. Now, one thing that I think is very smart is if you look at the front bumper here, I like the way they brought the gray into the fender well. It gives it a nice off-road aggressive appearance to it. This one, being the Sport 4x4, has the optional 18-inch wheel, brushed aluminum. That's like a gunmetal gray color. Very nicely done. I'm gonna have Tom go ahead and zoom in and show you the upper, lower control arms, everything that you're working with the suspension. Tom, swing it around and show them that lower control arm, just the beefiness of it. Very nicely done. Now, this truck is meant to go off-road, but this isn't something that is gonna run the most rugged of courses, but it's there to get the job done, get you to that mountain bike trail that you love, or down that trail road that, you know, where your log cabin is, where you spend those wonderful summers. I like what Ford has done with the Ranger logo on the side with this venting. This is a Lariat. Now, if you're wondering, well, what are the option trim levels for this? With the Ranger, you come in at XL. That is your entry gate into the Ranger. Then you go XLT. Lariat is gonna be that top option level. As we work our way back, you can see the nice running boards that are here, good size. You know what? I was thinking about this. With this truck being dirty from being delivered to Walker Ford, what truck isn't dirty? This is a truck to go out and have fun and really enjoy having that mid-size truck feel. You can see that this is a Super Crew. You got the full 4 doors, and as we work our way back to the 5-foot box, remember, wonderful setup. I like how they wrapped out the rear of the truck with the tailgate. You got that Ranger logo, once again, embossed into the tailgate. Metal bumpers and lots of clearance, lots of room. This one has the tow package. If you're wondering, what can you tow with this Ranger? 7,500 pounds. You could tow Also in the bed of the truck, you could put 1,860 pounds. So it's not there to replace the F-150, but you know what? It could get some really good work done. Here's the tailgate, and this is gonna be one of my zonks, and you can see what I'm doing here. This doesn't have one of those nice smooth action lowering tailgates. If I move my arm, this thing's gonna drop like a ton of bricks. That's a zonk. I would think, especially on the Lariat trim, that would be an option. Now, check out the inside of that 5-foot box. I love the bed liners already there, and just the overall space. You can see how Ford really did very well with the inside to really give you maximum width. You have some nice metal toe down strap hooks here that you could strap down anything to that you're putting in the back. Also, I like the rear power sliding window. I think that's another wonderful touch. But now that we're talking about this, let's go ahead and check out underneath the hood and see that EcoBoost motor. All right, guys, here we are underneath the hood of the 2019 Ford Ranger, that Lariat trim level. There is that 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine. Remember, EcoBoost, we're talking about direct injected, turbocharged, intercooled engine. Now, I know you might be saying, hold on a second, isn't that the same engine in the Mustang and the Focus RS? Yes, you are 100% correct, but that's where it stops. This engine has a totally different turbo, totally different intercooler, and the tuning on it is totally set up for driving a truck. And when we say driving a truck, we're looking at 270 horsepower at 5,500 RPMs, 310 feet-pounds of torque at 3,000 RPM. This one is mated to that slick shifting 10-speed automatic straight out of the F-150. If you're wondering about, well, what about speed? 0 to 60, 6.3 seconds, quarter mile in 14.7, top speed of around 105 miles an hour. And if you're running about those MPGs, you're looking at around 22 in the city, 26 on the highway. Weight, overall weight, you're looking about 4,500 pounds. And like I said, towing capabilities, 7,500 pounds. Like the way they did the engine. I like the way there's not a ton of plastic underneath. You can see the motor straight, clear as day right there. Made it to that 10-speed transmission. Another thing that's nice, no hood props. Let's go ahead. We're gonna fire up this EcoBoost Ranger and let you know what it sounds like. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, here we are in the brand new 2019 Ford Ranger Lariat Edition. Let's start on the door panels. You'll see that there's a lot of black on the door panel. If I'm gonna zonk it, the plastic, especially close by the window where you might be putting your arm on, that's a harder plastic. I do like the leather material that they have on the actual armrest and the back portion of it. And I really like this carbon smoke. That's what I'm calling it, this carbon smoke plastic material that goes from the door panel near the top by the door opening all the way over onto the dash here where they have the Ranger logo embossed. Very nice touch. I like this material. Very nicely done. You can see that they have a softer material with some nice contrast stitching on the top of the dash. Also, they went as far to put different trim around each of the openings of the AC. Gives it a nice upscale feel. Here's our infotainment system. It's that tried and true, that sync system, works great. You could have your AC controls if you want, and obviously in here we have dual climate control for your passenger and for you. You could get into your navigation real easy. Then it flows down into this mid area. This is where I'm gonna zonk it. I don't like this plastic that's around all the controls. I wish maybe they would have took some of this trim and at least outlined it or something like that, or some of that smoke color and put that around all the buttons here. I think that would have just maybe brought it up a little bit more upscale feel. I do like the shifter. I like the size of it. I like the material, the nice leather boot, that contrast stitching down into the cubby. We have two USB jacks right in there, and I like what they did here because it really allows for you to just access it with your hand very nice. You got two 12 volts on both sides. They tastefully put them there with the radio controls. You got your dual cup holders. Another thing is, I wish they would have done something with this plastic here. Taken maybe the smoke, the carbon smoke that I'm calling it, and putting it around the shifter. We have our dial that you could shift on the fly, from 2 high all the way to 4 high and 4 low, right here, easily reachable as you're driving. You got a good old-fashioned e-brake. I like the way they use the leather boot over the e-brake with the contrast stitching. And this armrest, nicely padded, nicely cushioned. And you know what? It's very deep in here. Here's something kind of funny. If you're wondering, hey, can I put a pen in here somewhere? Look, they actually tell you could put a pen, or I'm also going to say that's for an air gauge that you could put in here. Maybe you could put like a Twizzler or a Slim Jim, like an emergency, like say if you're really hungry, maybe put like a Slim Jim in there for emergency reasons. Let's go ahead and check out the seats. Now remember, this hasn't gone through PDI, so I'm going to go ahead and break the rules, lift up the plastic. I like the material. I like the color. I wish they would have done some contrast stitching though on the material just to bring it that upscale feel, but these seats are heated. They're not ventilated. I would like to see air-conditioned seats, I think, especially at this price point. If you're wondering price point, what are we looking at? See where it says dealer must remove cover. That's part of PDI. If you're wondering what's the MSRP on this, it's $45,000. This one is top of the line. There are different trim levels, and if you're saying, hold on a second, where'd they come up with that price? Go look at Tacomas, especially their 4x4 TRD editions and whatnot. They're $45,000, $46,000, $47,000, so it's really not that far of a stretch. But why don't you come on over here and I'll show you the business end behind the wheel of the new Ranger. Come on over. All right, guys, here we are inside the 2019 Ford Ranger. I want to show you something before I open up the door. Check this out. You got your side mirrors, nothing new there, but you have a nice button that's located by the steering wheel. Here's my finger. There's the button. Check it out. Folding mirrors, nice touch on the Ranger. I hope all of Ford's pickups come with something like that. Make life nice and easy. I'm sure you can see Big Guns McGee in the mirror there. I'm going to open up the door, try not to hit him with the door, and bring it around. Here we are inside the Ranger. Now with this model here, we have nice electric seating. That's going to help you control exactly where you need to be. If I'm going to zonk it on a Lariat, $45,000 truck, we have electric, but we have manual here. What's up with that? That needs to be full electric. This needs to be a full electric 8-way, 10-way seat. So at least they have it here though. Very comfortable seat. I love the padding. I love how long the lower portion of the seat is. It really goes far underneath my hamstrings to really support me. Nice size dead pedal down there. And I love the seating position with the steering wheel. The size of the wheel is great. I love the material, very soft. There's that, I'm gonna call it, and Ford, you could borrow it, but you're gonna have to pay me every time you use it, carbon smoke material around the horn button. You can see your controls to go through the different settings. The Lariat has your lane keep assist, it has your adaptive cruise control, all that good safety feature stuff that's gonna keep you safe, and that really you only saw on high-end vehicles. Check out this, I love this little information area down here. You could scroll through, there's your tachometer. You could get on it a little bit. You can see the RPMs going up and down. As you continue through it, you have a digital speedometer. You can look at your tire pressures, all different settings there. Also, you can navigate through a bunch of different stuff. So you got your trip odometers. You can see your fuel economy if you wanted to. All that good stuff. Nice, easy to use. I like the center analog speedometer, and I like this compass navigation area over here. Very, very tastefully done. 10-speed automatic transmission, lots of headroom. I'm 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. I love the headroom. I like actually the tan in here. The reason why is it breaks up the sea of black and it makes it feel more open and airy. You even have that home link capability where you can program your garage door and whatnot right here. Honey, I'm home. Hit that, roll on in. And that's the great thing about this truck is this is a truck you could park in your garage. A lot of people have issues parking full F-Series trucks into their garage. So really great to have those features. Let's go ahead and check out the back seat where maybe you might have a passenger or two sitting back there. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, here we are in the back seat of the 2019 Ford Ranger. This is a Super Crew. Guess what? You could get your crew in the back here with those full 4 doors. A pretty good amount of room. Now remember, I am 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. I did not move the passenger seat. The seat is on the back portion of the adjustment. If you have a loved one who really loves you, I'm sure they'll move up because they have plenty of space up front. And that's the wonderful thing about the front passengers, the driver and the passenger up front. Lots of room, especially compared to the Toyota Tacoma. The Tacoma has a tighter feel even in the back seat. I do like the way they have USB ports here for your kids. If they have their electronic devices, they can keep them charged. You even have another power source right there. You don't want those electronic devices to go dead on a trip, because guess what? They will make you, you know it, they will make you pull your hair out when they get bored, when their devices run dry. But I like the way they have that. There isn't any rear passenger AC vents, which I think I'm gonna have to zonk it, because you know what? On the interior, this doesn't feel like a truck. This feels like a mid-size SUV. And on a mid-size SUV, many of them have rear AC vents. So I would at least like to see the vents there. Now, overall seating position, lots of room. I got good headroom, good shoulder room. With the seat, what they did was, and I'm gonna lift this up even though I'm not allowed to, or supposed to, you can see how they cut out the back of the seat to give you a little bit more knee room so that your knees are not rubbing up against the seat. When you're sitting upright like a normal human being is supposed to, you have lots of room here for the knees. And I like the way that my leg is bent. I feel like I could go on a further trip sitting back here. What's nice is you have this really wonderful armrest, nicely done with 2 cup holders, still that nice leather material. And then this whole back portion of the seat folds down flat, which is nice to give you some usability. I don't know about you, talking about this Ranger is great, sitting in it's fun. Let's go take it for a spin. First time 2019 Ford Ranger, let's do it.
Hey guys, very exciting. We are leaving Walker Ford and we are in the brand new 2019 Ford Ranger. Remember, this is that Lariat edition. Now, one thing you notice right off the bat, that EcoBoost motor, no issue, pulling away. You have that 270 horsepower, over 300 foot-pounds of torque. It really is a wonderful engine. And what's great, it simplifies the buying process, because when you go Tacoma, if you go Colorado, they got, you know, 4-cylinder, the V6, the this and that. This kind of does it all, and it does it well, which is really, really nice. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get on it and show you that 10-speed, drops down, gets up and goes. Remember, this has 0 to 60 in around 6.3 seconds, quarter mile in 14.7 seconds, which is nothing to cry about in a pickup truck. Remember, this market disappeared for a while. It's back with a vengeance, and Ford really has a sharpened instrument here to really go up against the industry leaders. I love the layout of the controls. One thing that I was telling you about before, the space. Nice and open, especially if you've been in a Tacoma lately. It's a little bit more cramped. I really almost feel, and I don't mean to say this in a bad way, it feels almost like an SUV with the amount of room that you have. And I mean that in the best of ways. It's lots of great space. You don't feel cramped, because remember, at the end of the day, this is not an F-150. It's not a full size, but it really slots in nicely, and you could park this thing in your garage if you wanted to, which is another great feature. Now, like I said, with that Lariat, automatically you're going to get the plethora of all those safety features, that lane keep assist, the adaptive cruise control and whatnot, and everything else. So very well done. Love the placement of the controls for the AC, the radio, everything is good. If we're zonking, and if I'm being honest, I just wish they would have done a little bit more with this center stack area, just with the quality of the material. It's a standard black plastic, like I pointed out. If they would have took some of this material off the front of the dash area, I just really think it would have brightened up that whole area, especially because it is a sea of black there. That's what I like about the interior overall, is that this tan that's up on the ceiling, that's on the armrest, the seats and everything, it brightens everything up and it breaks up the whole sea of black in here, which could sometimes just drown out an interior. This one really well done. Visibility, even though right now we got 2 people sitting in the back. I know you can't see them, but they really are there. Sitting in the back seat, window, very good visibility. Mirrors are great, great size, great feel. I really, really like I showed you earlier, that ability to where you could just fold them in if you need to, depending on where you're at. And you know what? It makes sense that this truck works, because guess what? Even though we say this is the all-new 2019 Ford Ranger, Ford has been selling the Ranger in over 100 other countries for the past few years. And now this, it's not 100% the same as what theirs was, but it has some nice touches meant just for us here in the United States, and it really just feels overall great. I'm gonna go ahead and step on the loud pedal and just shut up for a second here. It gets up and it goes, and I have to merge, and you know what, I'm not worried, because with the 10-speed, that EcoBoost engine, very, very nicely done. There is some sound that is pumped in from the engine compartment, and you know what, I'm okay with that, because it just helps increase the whole driving experience, the whole driving enjoyment. Seating position, I feel comfy as could be. I really do. I feel like I could drive across the state of Florida right now, do a 300-mile trip, and not even be in one bit of pain. So really, really great. I'm telling you, I looked over into my side view mirror here. Great visibility, awesome visibility. I would like to see, if I'm gonna, you know, do some of these nitpick zonks or whatever, how about a sunroof? I think at a Lariat level, remember MSRP on this truck is around $45,000. The way that you see it as we drive down the road, it would be nice to have a sunroof. And okay, I'm not asking for panoramic or anything fancy, just a sunroof over the driver and the passenger. That would be a very nice touch. If I was being really picky, I would say panoramic sunroof at the price point of $45,000. But I'm telling you right now, when it comes to the power, when it comes to the creature comforts and the just overall feel, I like what I am experiencing in this 2019 Ford Ranger. It really is, I think, a truck that, yeah, we haven't seen a Ranger since 2011, but you know what? Ford has done their homework and really has brought a great product over that I think is going to do well against the competitors and against that industry standard, the Toyota Tacoma. Overall, the bumps feel great. You know, when I left Walker Ford, they have some speed bumps in the parking lot. Felt great. This isn't some monster truck that you're going to go and crush cars with or anything like that. But you know what? That's not what the audience that they're going after with this truck. The type of people they're looking are people who have a kayak. Somebody that needs to go down a trail road that maybe is a little rough and whatnot and need to get to that certain location. But just love the handling, the tipping. I'm gonna go ahead and get on it. Great. That EcoBoost motor, Ford was smart to borrow that from the Mustang, from the RS. They did some tweaking to it with the turbo, with the intercooler. Yeah, it doesn't have 350 horsepower and 350 foot-pounds of torque, but that's not what this truck needs. The way the truck delivers the power is done on purpose. And even though some might say, well, hold on, it's been downgraded to 270 horsepower, you gotta look at that with a grain of salt. It's all about how that boost is delivered, how the whole power is delivered to you. And like I said, with this 7,500 pounds you could tow, you could put 1,860 pounds in that 5-foot bed. So, you know, it is really a versatile truck and something you could drive every day, use it for everything and anything, and really is almost like the Swiss Army knife of vehicles in Ford's lineup. I really do. Infotainment, I'm in love with the sync system. I think it's so easy to use. The navigation, the climate controls, everything is so well laid out. And then with the dash, like we looked at earlier, you have the center speedometer, very clear and easy to see. And then you have those two digital screens that branch off to the sides. And I think my favorite out of the bunch is the one on the left, because I can go through it and I can pull up tachometer if I want to see what my RPMs are at. I could look at my fuel economy. I could look at tire pressure and all that good stuff. But we're gonna go ahead and make our way back to Walker Ford. I know, I don't even have to ask, I know that this little drive has probably opened your eyes to the Ford Ranger, especially if you were looking at a vehicle in that mid-size truck segment of the industry, and definitely want to get down to Walker Ford because they are getting the Rangers first in the area. Like we saw, Tom and I were there as this truck was coming off the truck. So I will see you guys in a split second and we'll be right back.
All right, guys, it's been a wonderful day here at Walker Ford. Definitely got to give a huge shout out and a thank you to Frank Walker, Weston Walker, Tracy, Benji, Austin, Mark, Denise. Everybody here at Walker Ford is so accommodating and just loves Rady's rides, and I love each and every one of them. You can see with this 2019 Ford Ranger Lariat, Ford is bringing their A game to that midsize pickup lineup of the truck segment. We're gonna see how it pans out, but I'm glad I was able to bring this to you. If these are the types of things you like to see on Rady's Rides, these awesome truck reviews, leave a comment in that comment section. If you have not subscribed yet, honestly, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back each and every day. If you are a subscriber, thank you. Thank you for being part of this journey. I'm so grateful for your love, your dedication, your trust, and your commitment to Rady's Rides, and I'm so glad to have you part of the Rady's Rides family. If you have not checked out my Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages, all Rady's Rides original content all the time, so definitely check that out. Also, merch. I know a lot of you want to support the channel, help promote the channel, and I'm grateful for that. Go ahead, click the button somewhere above my head in this video. Takes you right to Spreadshirt, shirts, hats, bags, bandanas, the whole shabam. I'm very grateful for whatever you could do. Speaking of grateful, today is specifically buy your YouTube cameraman a big bottle of protein. So definitely got to do that for Tom Moschner, Big Guns McGee. We're going to get him fed soon. He's hungry as can be right now. His muscles are just they want nourishment. So that's what we're doing after this. So thank you, Tom, for all your hard work and your dedication. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.